Com esta crise tão grande que a gente tenta reerguer as cidades, este vídeo do São Paulo Reage se pergunta: o que as grandes empresas podem fazer para melhorar a vida de São Paulo? Vocês vão ver imagens do novo campus da Amazon, em Seattle. A Amazon tomou uma atitude muito corajosa. Em vez de se esconder em algum subúrbio, um campus corporativo fechado, num terreno mais barato, ela preferiu continuar em Seattle, ou seja, fomentando aí a vida da cidade. Ela deixou aí 40 mil funcionários no meio da cidade, em um bairro que estava bastante deteriorado, um bairro com madeireiras, e colocou ali seus funcionários. Melhor, ela evitou que refeitórios, restaurantes ficassem isolados dentro do campus, para fazer com que os funcionários consumam, circulem pela cidade, ajudando os pequenos comércios e criando vida de rua. Vamos dar uma olhada o que a Amazon fez.
Well, hello, I'm John Scholes, President and CEO of the Downtown Seattle Association, and I want to welcome you to today's City Maker conversation. I'm pleased to be joined today by John Shetler, Vice President of Global Real Estate for Amazon, and a member of the Downtown Seattle Association Board. I wanted to make sure to get that in, John. Thanks for taking some time with us.
Ed, thanks for having me. This is great.
So you're coming up on 18 years with this company. You started with them in 2001.
That's right.
And I want you to maybe take us back to the early 2000s and the factors and decisions that were made and the factors that went into the decision to locate in South Lake Union and to grow downtown. You could have been many places, the company could have been many places, but you chose to be here, and maybe take us back to that decision.
Be happy to. Well, when I started with the company, January 2nd, 2001 to be exact, the company had 640,000 square feet of office space, 1,000 or more employees here in Seattle, and we were just sort of plodding along and kept our heads down. We were inventing on behalf of our customers, pioneering new technologies, and life was good. There was about 1 million square feet globally, so another 400,000 square feet peanut butter spread around the globe, and it was a very stable environment. And we started to see some real rapid growth starting in about 2004. And about 2005, I knew that it was time to start looking for a new home. And I went to Jeff and talked to him about it, and he said, go see what you can put together, but I definitely want us to stay in Seattle. It was a very conscious decision on our behalf to stay here. We were looking for a place where we could create a home, not only for Amazon as a company, but Amazon employees. We're thinking about recruitment and retention. We wanted a place where the employees could get to work easily and be a vibrant city. And so we wanted to be part of a neighborhood, and we came to South Lake Union. We thought that the neighborhood had soul, and we started to grow. And we signed leases with Vulcan to develop 1.7 million square feet for us that was supposed to last us through 2016. But the end of 2016, we didn't have 10 build-to-suit buildings. We had over 34 buildings. We had over 37,000 employees and 8.5 million square feet. And we've just continued to grow ever since.
The way Amazon's grown in downtown, I think, has been pretty remarkable. You talk about the philosophy and how you've developed the buildings, the campus. You haven't tried to cram everything inside. You've really tried to use downtown as the amenity.
Well, absolutely. If we went to a suburban location, we probably would have been more inward looking. But by being here in downtown Seattle, we've been very outward looking. We've opened up our public plazas to not only our employees, but visitors and Seattle as a whole. We design our buildings so that our cafeterias only serve a third of the population of the building. There's lots of retail around, and we want to push our employees out, have them walk about, get some fresh air, and enjoy many of the retail restaurants as well as food trucks that happen to come into the area.
So you've invited and encouraged your employees to take advantage of the downtown, but you've also invited community partners to come in. Will you talk about the partnership with Fair Start and Mary's Place? Maybe give us a little bit behind the scenes how those came to be. They're both of them pretty unique, not just in this city, but around the country.
Right.
Pretty remarkable.
We're very proud of both of our relationships with Mary's Place and Fair Start. Mary's Place started when we purchased land from the Kleiss family. There were some old motels that had been used as dormitories for Cornish. Cornish built their own facility. They weren't going to be using these old motels as dormitories any longer, and our development cycle was going to be a few years before we were going to need to take those buildings down. And the mayor of Seattle, Mayor Murray at the time, had declared a state of emergency on homelessness, and we had these buildings, and we thought, how can we put something together? And I'd had experience with Mary's Place in years past, and we contacted them and said, if we were to give this to you and allow you to use this as a temporary home, what would you think about being able to do that? And they were overjoyed. They just couldn't believe it. So we got those buildings all ready to go, and we dressed them up, and we furnished them. We worked with the Mary's Place staff, and many of our employees came and to the table to help as well, and painting and creating murals and really personalizing the spaces. And after we did that, we realized that this is really a unique opportunity and a great synergy between our organization and Mary's Place. And then we thought, how can we make this permanent? And so we had an idea to take one of our development sites and create a permanent home there. Presented it to our senior leaders. They loved it. They thought it was great that we could really have a voice for women and children in immediate need of housing. And so a permanent house is being built for Mary's Place right now that will serve up to 200 families and family members every night. Fair Start came about. We feed our employees, and we work with a food service provider to do that. And we build out those spaces to their specification. And we thought, well, why not do that with a place like Fair Start, so that they can train people and get people back into the local economy and working in restaurants and the like around the local area. So we started working with them, and we fit out the space, spent tens of millions of dollars in doing that. There's 5 eateries there, and they're now providing a great service to individuals that are learning about culinary activities and real job opportunities as a result of their experience with Fair Start.
And your employees get to have those interactions
absolutely
every day.
Yep.
And I think it's remarkable that your roots in this community, a 5th-generation Seattleite, have been so important and I think influential in how Amazon's set and grown its roots in Seattle. Those 2 partnerships are good examples of that. What motivates you today, as you look back and on 18 years with the company, but also a full plate as the company continues to grow in Seattle, but also across the world, and what challenges you?
Well, that's a really good question. I'm very proud of Seattle and proud of my roots. They run deep here. So I take great pride in not only, I believe that what you touch becomes part of you. And so being here at Amazon, I take that philosophy forward. And it's been a real amazing opportunity. The company has, as part of our leadership principles of thinking big and learning and be curious. They've allowed me to do those things and how I interact and get our company to interact in the community. And it's really been fascinating, and it's been very rewarding.
So we're sitting on top of one of Amazon's buildings here in South Lake Union, and we can see others. Is asking you to pick a favorite building like asking you to pick a
favorite child?
Do you have a favorite favorite building?
Well, I do, and I don't think we can see it from here. No, would be the Spheres.
Yeah.
The Spheres are a totally unique experience. Nothing like it has ever been built before. It was an amazing collaborative effort with lots of people to bring that together. Anytime you have opportunity to work with our senior leaders that give us part of a vision of what they'd like to see carried out, and being able to actually see that to fruition is, not very many people have a job like mine.
Yeah.
And so I'm very proud of that. And the team and what they've done and curated an amazing collection. And it's being enjoyed not only by our Amazon employees and their families, because they're so proud to bring their families there, but also visitors alike that come to the city.
Yeah. And I was surprised a few Saturdays ago to be walking by and seeing the amount of visitors early on a Saturday morning taking photos and really just being in awe of buildings.
It's a unique structure. It's
Yeah.
iconic. I think that it has world attention, and it's open to the public. The first.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how are they being used today?
Well, they're being. It's really Amazon workspace.
Yeah.
So it's an alternative workspace, and it's a place for employees to come and be creative and think differently and enjoy the natural environment. We know that employees are super proud of it because they're bringing their families, and we have a very diverse community here, and people from all over the world are coming, and you see many different cultures that are inside the spheres working and visiting. And then the spheres are open to the general public free of charge the first and the third Saturday of every month. And we have a reservation system, and people sign up, and there's thousands of people that go through every Saturday.
Well, I want to thank you for giving us some of your time today, and also thank you for the incredible impact you and your team and the company's had on downtown Seattle, our city and region. And I want to thank you for joining us for today's City Maker conversation with John Shetler.